Today, we're diving into a story that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's very, very real. We're going to look at a rare disease that causes children to age at an almost unbelievable speed, and the incredible scientific race to try and turn back that biological clock. I mean, just stop and really think about that for a second. Imagine every single year that passes, your body ages an entire decade. For a small number of children around the world, this isn't some wild thought experiment. It's the reality of a condition called progeria. So let's get right into it. This is truly a race against time. We're going to break down the fight against this relentless disease, where every single day matters, and the stakes just couldn't be higher. Okay, so what is it exactly? The formal name is Hutchinson-Gilford Progeria Syndrome, or HGPS for short. And what makes it so devastating is that newborns with progeria look completely healthy. The signs don't even start to show up until they're about 1 or 2 years old. So you have to wonder, right? What on earth goes wrong inside the body? How does a healthy baby all of a sudden start aging so fast? Well, the answer is hiding in a single microscopic error in our genetic blueprint. To really get this, we've got to zoom way, way in, right down to the cellular level. Inside each of our cells, there's a really important protein called LMNA. The best way to think about it is like scaffolding for a building. Its whole job is to provide structure and support for the cell's nucleus, the command center that holds all our DNA. And here's where the devastating chain reaction starts. There's this one tiny random mutation in the gene that's supposed to make LMNA. Because of that mistake, the gene produces a faulty, toxic protein called progerin. This progerin is like a saboteur. It gets into that cellular scaffolding and just starts wrecking the whole structure from the inside, making the nucleus unstable. This damage causes cells to die off way too soon, and that massive cell die-off is what puts the body's aging process into hyperdrive. Okay, so we've seen what's happening on that tiny, microscopic level. Now let's zoom back out and look at the profound, heartbreaking impact this has on a child's life. It's literally like their childhood is stuck on fast forward. And this, for me, is just the cruelest part of this whole thing. A child with progeria's mind develops perfectly normally. Their intellect, their motor skills, learning to sit up, to walk, to talk, all of that is completely fine. But while their mind is growing just as it should, their body is on a completely different timeline. Their physical growth, their skin, and most critically, their heart and cardiovascular system are all aging at this shocking rate. And this rapid aging shows up in some really distinct physical ways that become more obvious over time. These children often experience hair loss, their skin becomes wrinkled and aged, and they lose the layer of fat right under the skin. It all contributes to a very distinct appearance from a very young age. 14.5 years. That's the average life expectancy for a child diagnosed with progeria. Just 14.5. While some do live into their early 20s, the condition is always tragically fatal. And in the end, it's the cardiovascular system that just can't keep up with this accelerated aging. These kids develop severe atherosclerosis, which is basically the hardening of the arteries, the same condition that affects many people much, much later in life. And for them, it leads to heart attacks or strokes at an age that is just unthinkable. But here's where the story takes a turn, because it isn't just about this devastating disease. It's also about the incredible people fighting back. And right now, there's a development that's offering some very real new hope. So check this out. There's a new drug in development, and it's an oral medication, a pill. It's called Progerinin, and is the result of a collaboration between Sentynl Therapeutics in the US and PRGS&T in South Korea. So how does it work? Well, the goal of Progerinin is incredibly precise. Remember that destructive progerin protein we talked about? The one that messes up the cell's nucleus? This drug is designed to go right in and block the damage it causes. It's like a targeted strike against the very molecule that's driving this entire disease. And look, this isn't just some far-off theory, it's already making real progress. The drug has already received what's called orphan drug designation from the FDA here in the States, which is a special status meant to help speed up development for rare diseases. Right now, it's in clinical trials, and we're expecting to see the first results by the middle of 2026. So what's the big picture here? What does all this scientific progress really mean for the families at the center of this? It means we are finally able to fight back, right at the source, a direct attack on the genetic cause of the disease. Yeah, the mission is crystal clear. It's about taking this incredible, groundbreaking research and turning it into a real, actual therapy. Something that can give these kids and their families more time, more options, and more hope. And that really leaves us with this huge, fascinating question, doesn't it? Progeria is such an extreme example of how one tiny mistake in our genetic code can have such awful consequences. But what this new drug shows is that we're on the edge of being able to step in and fix it. I mean, if we can successfully treat the effects of this single faulty gene, what does that mean for the future of medicine? What other genetic diseases could be next?